Okay, so today we're going to do a Valentine's grapevine design. It could be wintry too. We're not going to make it overly Valentine's-y. I'm not adding like Valentine's ribbon. The ribbon we're going to be using is this one. It does have a pattern on it, but it's not, it doesn't have the hearts or anything like that. So it could be Christmassy, it could be winter. But we're gonna do it more for Valentine's, but again, it's not overly Valentine's. We're not adding hearts and all that good stuff. But we are using the red roses. Now these are some that I have left. We're sold out of them, so use whatever red roses that you have. And I'm gonna go ahead and just give these a glue in here. And I think I'm gonna get my moss. Hit it with a little bit of moss. Just to make sure they're held in there good. Now, right now, I'm thinking we're just going to have these 3 roses. As the design goes, if I feel like we need more, we can get more, but I think I want to just kind of stick with the 3. See if we can get that one in there a little bit better. Okay. So we have our roses situated. Let's go ahead and get our bow added. So let me see how long I want my tails. Thinking probably right there. So the tails, I'll measure it for you. Now I'm using an 18-inch grapevine. Use whatever size you have. This tail is about 23 inches. Okay, now let me get this out of the way. And let's get our bow added. So I'm just going to pinch. And pinch and twist. Make sure that these are about the same size, and they are. So let me give you the size on this first loop. We are about 7.5 inches. I'm going to twist, and I'm going to go up about 1/2 inch. About 1/2 inch. Twist. And same thing. I think we're going to do 6 loops. Okay. Now I think I'm going to cut this last little tail and we'll get it added back where we want it. Let me get it tied off first. And I'm going to cut this. We'll get our tail added back where we want it later. Okay, I'm going to get this added to our pick. Now I just have the really long picks. I got to order some more. So I know we're not going to need it this long. Cut it down. All right, let me cut this down. Get some glue added to that. Need to get another glue stick here. All right, let's get our So I'm going to add our bow right in here. Now let's anchor our bow. So we're going to go in with some of our pine. So I just took one of these pine branches that we had and cut it up. So we're going to anchor our bow north, south, east, west with this pine. I'm going to go straight down into this grapevine right next to that pick. I'm going to go right next to this, right next to that pick. Got top. Let me get the shorter pieces for the sides here. It's going to be a little loosey-goosey until we get everything added. I'm going straight down in that grapevine. We'll kind of give it a bend. Okay, and I'm going to cut this ribbon. I think I made the tails just a tiny bit too long. So I'm going to cut it and fold those in. So I cut about, here it is, about 3.5 inches off, so you can make it a little shorter. I already forgot what I told you the tail is, so you can make it a little bit shorter. Okay, now we're going to add some more of our pine. I'm going to go right in the center here, give it a bend. Now this arrangement will be, so this will be kind of like a 3/4 design. So we'll have this little part of the grapevine showing. Give that a bend. Kind of help elevate our loop there. Go right next to that rose. Go in a little bit towards the center here. This piece. I'm going to go in the center here with this piece. We want to make sure we've got our center nice and full. I'm going to go underneath this rose right there. Okay, let me cut up another one. Get this ribbon off the floor so I don't step on it. So these roses, they sold out pretty fast, but they have been my favorite this season. I have made many arrangements that sold with them. And I think I did a wreath with them. I'm not for sure, but I know I made several arrangements with them. They are really pretty. The stems, I'm not a fan of. I think I used the stems on a couple pieces, just kind of as a little bit of filler, but they're not my favorite as far as the stems. But the flowers are really pretty. They're sort of a velvet with the little snowy bits on it. Okay, I'm going to cut 2 of these. Okay. I want to go underneath this rose here. Let's bring a small piece right in there. Okay, now let's work on the top here. Bring a smaller piece in this way, right next to that stem. It's going to help hold that in. Let's go up underneath this rose. Okay, I'm going to get another piece by our bow. I'm trying not to use picks on these, so it's a little harder to get in there, but trying to really build up our bow here. I'm going to do another piece on the side, right in here. Okay, we need another piece right here. This one's probably going to be too long. Yeah, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it down. That turning out pretty just already. Okay, let's stop with the pine for now. We got some other greenery I want to get added in here. I'm going to go in with some of our cypress stems. So I'm just going to start going kind of in between the pine. Giving these a little bit of a bend. Just realized y'all couldn't even see what I was doing. So I'm just taking the cypress and kind of going in between the pine every time with my nail. If you don't have any of the cypress, just use another type of greenery. We're going to probably go in with 3 greeneries on this one. Make sure we get that one in there really good. There we go. Let me see if I can find a smaller piece. These all long pieces. Here's a small piece. Go right in here. So that it kind of comes towards the center. Okay. Now that I'm at my transition point, I'll start adding some more towards the top here. I'm going to go straight down and start covering up some of this here in the center with our bow. I want to hide our mechanics. And I may have to use a pick on this one just because I want to get it right down in that center. Try not to use pick on these. I'm going to go right down in the center there. So we have some of this coming out of our bow. We're going to do the same thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and put a pick on it. So we have some nice little wispies right here around the bow. We're covering up that pipe cleaner. Okay, let me give it another one. Now that I'm at my transition point, I am moving the greenery. Instead of going down, I'm moving it to come up. Now, I don't necessarily follow that rule all the time, but I would say the majority of the time, if I have a bow that creates a transition point, then I'm going to flow my greenery up from the bow and down from the bow. Now, again, not always. There are no rules. Sometimes it just depends on how the design's going. Sometimes I want greenery in different places, and it may not follow that rule. Like we said, there are really no rules. You just design it the way you like it. But typically, that's what you're going to see me do. I want to add a couple pieces towards the inside right here. I'm going to go up in the center. Make sure I'm getting it in the grapevine. And if you don't like this bow or this type, if you don't like a pattern ribbon, just a really pretty solid red would be pretty. I didn't have a solid red that was as deep of red as these roses that I would have liked. The one I had, I only had a little bit of it left and it wouldn't have been enough. So I went in with this one. You can kind of see where we're going with this. Oh, I lied. We're going to move it. I think I can get it moved just a little bit up. Just a hair closer. Right in there. So I didn't move it much, just a little bit. I'm going to add another piece of cypress right under here. We'll add our tail where we want it in just a little bit. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's add our last. We still have a few pieces of this, so when we hang it up, if we need filler, we can do that. We're going to go in with this little greenery bush. Now, this is optional. This is really pretty just the way it is. But I wanted a little bit of this kind of fun greenery in here. Break it up just a little bit. I'm going to cut this up. This is our mini focus leaf branch. So we're going to go in with a few pieces of this. This is one of my favorites from last year. We still have a little bit of it in stock. So I'm going to give it a bend. I'm going to put it right underneath this rose. Just kind of blend it and bend it. See, just kind of blending it and bending it so that we've got some texture and movement there with those. So let's get another piece. I'm going to go right in here. I just bent those the way I wanted them. Go right next to this rose here. Blend that in with our cypress. Okay, I'm going to get a piece towards the center. I just stuck that leaf right in that glue. So I'm going to cut this down. That was my fault on that one. Okay, y'all see I just put that one right there. I think we're going to put one underneath our little loop there. Ooh, get more in here. Now let's go on the outside here. I'm going to go right next to the pick and kind of give that a bend down. Got a couple pieces left. Let's go right next to the pick here. I'm going to give it a bend and sort of blend it. I'm going to take this piece and sort of blend it in there with our pine like that. A little baby piece. Maybe we just stick it right there. Okay. Now, I thought we would go in with our viburnum bush. A couple pieces, give it some wispy. Some of these wispy branches, as well as a couple berries. I think we're going to go straight down. Straight down in there with that. After we get kind of this in there, I'll hang it up and we'll take a look at it. Just easier for me to work on the table. I know there's lots of designers that can work on the easel. For me, I find it easier on the table and then putting it up on the easel. Because I feel like I can really get in there and make sure it's in the grapevine. And again, this is optional if you don't want to add these little branches. You don't have to. You could stop. I like the little wispiness of it. You guys see that? How it's added. Add a piece towards the going down now, so I'm going to add it right underneath this rose. Yeah, we just stuck that right in my finger. That was hot. Okay, so I just kind of weave that underneath that rose, and we've got some little pieces, little piece poking out right here. Love it. Okay, now let's look at the berries. You could stop here, or we could add some berries. So let me look and see if I want to add the berries. I'm thinking I do. I think it's very pretty. Okay, so we're going to add a couple of these berries in here. I'm going to add one right there. And these have the little blackberries and the red berries and a little bit of the snow. I'm going to lift this up and go right in here. So we have a little piece kind of coming out right there. I think I want to come, you guys can't even see that. I think I'm going to come right down into this bow. And have this kind of coming out of the bow like that. Like that. Let me make sure it's in my grapevine good, because I don't think it is. No. There it goes. There it goes. So let me hit that with some glue. Okay, let's do a piece. I may have to put it on a pick. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, I got it in there, so I'm not going to pull it out. I'm just going to hit it with the glue. And I want this one kind of draping over our rose. Just a couple pieces left. Let's do one on this side. Make sure it's in the grapevine good. Just going to kind of leave that on there. Okay, I'm going to hang this up and we'll add our other tail and just take a look at it and see what it looks like on the easel. Okay, so I think I'm going to add our extra tail right here. So I'm not going to pull it out. Let me just hit it with the glue. And all I did is just take our ribbon, I just pinched it, and I added a pick on it. Now, if you don't have a pick machine, just get one of the wooden picks, and you can just glue that on there and pick it that way. Okay, so that's how you can just add your tails later and get them exactly where you want them. Okay, so now we're going to just kind of look and see if I want another loop, because I'm almost thinking I want another loop right here. I think I do. So I'm going to make my own loop. Just going to pinch it. I believe that will be good. Let me hit that with some glue. And I just added another loop right there. Now that's optional, but I think it needed it, personally for me. Okay, now I want to add a little bit of greenery right in here, maybe a little bit of pine. Just cover up our mechanics. I'm going to put a pick on this one because I'm going to have to get right in there where all that stuff is bunched up right there. It's going to be harder to get in there. Make sure it's in good. Okay, I think I may add one right there. Yeah, right in there. Very pretty. I just have a tiny bit of this ribbon left. Let me see if I want to do something else with it or just. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it. I hate to waste that pretty ribbon, but I don't want to force it. Get this end in a little bit more. Okay. Me, I think I want to add a little bit more greenery here in the center. So I added a little pine. Let's add a little bit of our cypress. Add another piece. Not going in there, Hal. Okay, I think we may add this look berry right in here. Let me take it off the easel. Make sure I'm getting it in this grapevine good. piece of pine here. I think we almost need a piece there. I don't want it too long though, so I'm going to cut it down. Add another piece of cypress in there. I'm just fussing with it at this point. You could stop if you wanted, but just kind of finding some spots that I think needs a little love. I'll probably do it again when I get it hung up for pictures. Okay, now I want to see if I want to add pine cones to this. No, I think we're going to leave them on. So I think we're about done. Okay, so we have finished our beautiful Valentine's grapevine pine and rose wreath. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, bye y'all.